briefly give us her opinion on the benefits of support groups for our community.
Jyotika, thank you so much for asking me this question. And I want to thank all our panelists today for throwing light on how they look at, wellness. We had, Mr. Abhinav Bindra talking about failure and how to manage and accept the pressures around us. We had Miss Monica Sagar ma'am who spoke of how it has to begin, how empathy begins at a younger age and what families and parents can do. We've had Suparnoji speak of the policy level, a setting of mental health and how it can be accessed. And I think one of the things that I see, increasing the access to and investing in mental health is, and making sure that mental health is for all, is to create support groups. Support groups is a fairly new concept in a country like ours. I mean, new in the sense I'm talking with respect to mental health. A support group is essentially, an empathetic circle which allows us to connect with people who may be experiencing similar issues that I am. And one of the biggest benefits of a mental health support group is to know that I am not alone. There are others like me, and together we can, by just building a connect, by sharing our experiences, by talking, by listening, by lending support, by receiving support and receiving help, we can grow as individuals and we can grow as communities. Our intention with House of Empathy, and the reason why we invited people from not people who are not from the mental health space and background, is because we wanted mental health for all. We don't want, I've been asked multiple times that, is therapy only for the privileged? Is therapy only for the educated? Is therapy only for the professional? But no, therapy, counseling, mental health support, empathy and compassion is for everyone. It's a human need. And and we've spoken a lot today about how the pandemic has contributed to recognizing that human need. And one of the initiatives that we have, which is House of Empathy, is to provide that access, and that's our investment in mental health. That is via support groups, via forming a community, which not only creates a support and a safe space, but also enhances conversation around compassion, around empathy, about sharing and talking, and giving and taking from one another, and building all of this together. So, that's what my understanding of mental health for all is. And mental health is for all. And I often say this, and that we're all mental. We're all mental because we all have a mind, and our mind deserves that kind of investment. Our mind deserves our mind deserves to feel nurtured as we nurture our bodies. It's important for us to nurture our mind as well. So that's my take on mental health for all, greater investment and greater access. Before we enter into the Q&A, Jyotika, as being my co-moderator, I want to ask you that, can you please talk about the importance, and Shireen actually already mentioned that in her conversation. Can you talk about the importance of mind and body balance, and how important supportive human connections are?
Yes, thank you, Astha. I'm going to be brief. So, I believe that good health begins in your head. When we think about health, diet and exercise are typically the first things we think of. However, good health isn't about physical body. Our mind and our body are interconnected, and it's really important to nurture the whole self. I'm a mother of three, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I know for all the women out there, and again, this is for men and for women, but as a woman, I can talk about the challenges that I go through, because now home is work, work is home, home is also school. So the best thing that one can do is take care of one's mental health and your emotional well-being, because it's really not about what you're eating or your exercise regime alone. It's about what you're thinking. It's about how you're feeling and how you're treating yourself and others. So for everyone out there, it's very, very important to make self-care a priority. Let's take care of ourselves first, our physical and our emotional needs. And it's very simple. All that I practice is I just keep checking in with myself, and I ask myself, how am I doing? How's my heart feeling? Am I smiling today? How's my body feeling? Do I need a break? And if my answer is yes, I'm very unapologetic, and I just tell everybody, I'm having mental fatigue, I'm feeling exhausted, I need a break. And I'm grateful to my family for their love and their support, because they get it. Because as mental health professionals, we are feeling the heat as much, maybe more, because we are trying to give energy to others. Yeah. But if our tank is empty, we cannot fuel anybody else's. So yes, let's prioritize that. And the most important thing about human connections, supportive human connections, is that as humans, our relationships with others form everything about us. And survival. And COVID has kind of taught us that we were not hardwired to be alone. We were hardwired to stay connected, to feel the love. In fact, our relationships are connected to our strongest emotions. When we feel positive and happy about our relationships, we feel overall happy and positive and calm. But when our relationships bring out the worst in us, when they're non-existent, we feel anxious, we feel depressed, we feel lonely. And that's why our healthy relationships can make us all feel healthier overall in life. So we at House of Empathy are giving everyone this opportunity to connect with one another, so that anybody who's going through any problem can support one another, create a bond, and contribute to our overall happiness, health, and well-being.